All right, here we go. Friday. You know what? It's kind of an interesting Friday morning on Win the Day podcast because I know we have some folks that are in the Big Bend area of Florida that have felt massive effects of the Hurricane Helene, and they're probably not on here even. Who knows? But if you are, thank you for being on. And if you're going through some hard times, man, I hope you do well. I hope you come out on this quite well. But the storm got me thinking, and I hope yesterday was awesome. I hope tomorrow's twice as good. We're going to talk about how to win today. And I think part of the way you're going to win today is understanding moments, understanding the moment you're in. And I was thinking about this in that storm. There's such a dichotomy. On one side of the storm, you got the raging, howling wind, the driving rain, the storm surge flooding, just chaos compact into a dense place and time. And it's scary and it's hard and it's all the stuff that goes with it. On the backside of that same storm, I found myself walking in the surf yesterday, taking pictures. There was some cool lighting, all that stuff. Same storm, different reality. And it's interesting how that all works. It got me thinking, and somehow, I don't know how, I read a lot, I see a lot. This Willa Cather, I don't know if you know her. She was a writer, U.S. writer. I didn't even know. I had to look her up a little bit. But she was turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s. I thought she was like Laura Ingalls Wilder, talking about what's going on in the Midwest and whatever, writer. But according to Wikipedia, which whatever that means, she was, William Faulkner and John Steinbeck level. Which who knows? Let's hope she was. But the reason why I even say that, she had somewhere I saw talking about storms, because I buy into this 100%. There are things here's what she wrote. There are some things you learn best in the calm.
Yeah. Sometimes
you got to go through that freaking storm, right? And this is not to, lessen what happened to those folks that just got pounded. Right. This is not that. What I'm talking, well, maybe it is a little that too. You still got to go through a storm because there are lessons in that storm. If you're getting ravaged or whatever and you weren't ready, well, shame on you. You should have been ready. Pretty sure I knew about this storm 8 months ago or some version of that. Right. It's the same thing. Almost very rare does a storm occur in our life that if you boil it down, it hit me from nowhere. Right. You ask somebody, oh, the IRS is stiffing on me. I didn't see that coming. Really? When's the last time you paid your taxes? Well, it's been a while, right? There's very few storms in our lives that hit without us knowing they're coming. All right. And I'm not being judgmental here. I'm just being, a little bit of honesty can go a long ways. And so she says that, right? We can learn in the calm. We can absolutely learn the calm, but we can learn in the storm as well. So, and here's the other thing I found out. There's different kinds of storms, right? Mm. Our real estate business is in a wholly different kind of a storm, but it's a storm nonetheless because I feel anxious. I feel really anxious about our real estate world right now. I'm scared. I'm worried. Am I going to get through? What's it look like? What's happening? And the different storm is it's calm. It's dead calm. And we're in a sailing ship with a sail and no wind. It's the same result, just different ingredients. We're sitting in the middle of a vast ocean going nowhere with no land in sight, and we're running out of food and water. Mm-hmm. That's a problem, right? So that's a different kind of a storm, but it's a storm nonetheless. But, so what do you learn? What do you learn? Right? That's what I'm wondering. What do we learn about this? Here's one thing I'm going to tell you, because I've been through a couple storms and calms. In this quiet market is a calm. The lack of transactions is gross. But here's what you got to realize. Even if you're going through it, if you've been in it, if you're in it, if you're going to go in it and you're going to go into something, nothing lasts forever, right? This too shall pass. You got to think about that. It's so freaking hard when you're in it, when it's just pounding at you and you're in it. It's hard to say, you know what, this is cool. I like this because this too shall pass. What can I learn? Very hard to calm yourself down to that. But if you can, and when you do, you get very good things happen. So let's talk about what can we learn? Let's go back to this. What can we learn? Here's the number one thing I would tell you to do. Prepare. You can prepare for slow markets. Okay, we're going to talk about how to do that. You can prepare for hurricanes. Board up, leave. That's a form of preparation. All those kinds of things, right? But we're going to talk about slow markets because that's what we're dealing with. And I want you to know there's things you should have done. And if you didn't, it's going to be a lot harder for you, right? But it's too late to prepare for the slow market now that we're currently in. Too late. However, it's not too late to learn the lessons of a slow market because you're going to come out of this slow market. It's not going to be slow forever. And eventually it's going to take off and it's going to be crazy town. And then it's going to be slow again. And at least at that point, you're going to be prepared for the next slow market. Unless you close your eyes and, take a fetal position and just kind of rock your way through this thing. Don't do that. Most people do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Look around, calm yourself down. This too shall pass. What lesson can I learn in the moment? Okay. So I want to talk about that real quick. Prepare. Okay. How are you going to prepare? We talk about this from time to time. You're going to increase your lead gen. Didn't know about that. We're going to increase our lead gen. We're going to talk to more people because I want to make sure. And if you're in it, you can do this, right? If you're stalled out right now, talk to more people. You want to know when they're going to move, where they're going to move, why they're going to move. Is there a trigger? You want to know more about their life than they do. And the way you do that is you talk to them often. And you ask them questions about their hopes and dreams and plans for real estate, right? You do it over and over and over, even if it seems like no one's doing nothing. Matter of fact, especially if no one's doing nothing, you need to reach out more. Yes. All right. Because most people won't, but if you do, you'll be there. Okay. You got to do that. Have we talked about previewing? You need to preview every single property in a neighborhood or area you want to dominate. You got to go in them. You got to feel them, touch them, smell them. Just get the whole vibe. You can't get that. I saw something, a meme that said Zillow can't tell you if they had cats, something to that effect, right? Yeah. Or had pets. You can if you go in there. The agent who's never previewed the place. I get these calls all the time. We have a lot of listings. Yeah, how do I get in? How do I get in there? Do I need a code? I'm like, oh dear Lord. If you don't know if you need a code or not, that's a problem. That tells me you don't even know where you're going. That's a problem. All right. And that's an easy fix. All right. It may seem like I'm ranting a little bit and bitching a little bit, and I am, because dang it, this job ain't that hard. Success in this job ain't that hard if you just do some certain basic fundamental things. So I want you to do it. All right. I want you to preview so you know what places look like, feel like, touch, smell, the whole vibe. So when somebody says, hey, have you ever been in that place? Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I have. I've been in every house that's been for sale here in the last 5 years. Ooh. You're an expert. I like you, right? I want you to study the market trends, all right? Here's the thing about storms. We knew this one was coming, right? We knew this one was coming. We knew it well in advance. Jim Cantori bought new T-shirts for crying out loud and got down here. He was ready to go, right? We've been talking about a slowdown in the market for a long time. Now, COVID hit, and they pumped a bunch of money in, which changed the timing. But it's still here, and we're getting what we got. If you've been following the trends, you would have known that at some point the market's going to slow down. Maybe not this slow, but you knew it was going to slow down. And when we come out of this, I'll guarantee you the market's going to slow down again at some point in the future, and we'll be able to predict it with some degree of confidence. Maybe not to the hour and day, but with some degree of confidence that it's coming. All right, and then you can prepare, and then you're going to be ready. Right now, the fourth thing I want to talk about is visibility. All right. You're talking to more people. You're previewing more property. You're studying the market. And then the fourth thing you need to do to prepare or be in the moment is marketing. You got to get known. You got to get your message, your face, your whatever out there such that people recognize you as an expert in the places. You don't have to be everywhere. You just need to be where you want to be. All right. Now, if you're marketing hard to the side of town you don't necessarily sell in, probably a waste of time and money. Market hard in the places you want to dominate. Once you're dominating, then you can expand. Okay. So I want you to increase your visibility in the places you want to dominate. Okay. Those are the four things you're going to do. We're going to talk about them in depth here, but storms happen. You get strong in storms and calm happens. You can get calm and you get strong and calm times 2 if you play. If you don't, if you're not learning, if you're closing your eyes, turning your mind off, you lose. Full stop, end of story. You lose. Open your mind, calm yourself in what storm or calm. Just calm yourself. This too shall pass. What can I learn now that I can take going forward? Mark, what do you got on that?
Yeah, I think about that. And by the way, I like that. What was it? Justin, whatever, who did the guarantee, a little Cajun flavor there.
Yeah.
But in a time of whether it's crisis, storm, there's two attitudes. One is internally, don't try to get through it, try to get from it. So gather up the lessons. Otherwise, it's wasted expenditure of pain. So what can I get from this? The other thing is, and you're leaning into this, is I look at leadership of companies, leadership of organizations. And in trying times, you communicate less. You communicate more, not less. The tendency is to go less. And yet that's when you double down. And because people are looking for a voice of leadership. And you must speak in those trying times all the more. And the third thing, and I have 3 daughters, and I always taught them, if you're in a situation and there's a crisis, I want you to watch where watch where everybody's going and go in the opposite direction. Don't follow the herd. Look for another path, because you're not just caught up into the mass hysteria. Get strategic. And so I think that's what's important here. We're in that storm. What are the masses doing? They're curling up in a fetal position. What are some leaders doing? Talking less. And we are self-leadership. We're the CEO of our company as agents. Are we communicating more to our followers, who are our clients, or less?
Love it. For sure. Cool. Destiny, you got anything on that?
I think it's important to understand that when you're in the storm, that's when the endurance is built. I can say I came in the market not knowing the market was what it was when I came in, but I'm so grateful, because once it shifts, I feel like I'm going to soar. So it's building that endurance, learning as much as I can. You told me once, sometimes just have a seat at the table. You don't always have to have something to say or a part to play, but just listen and absorb and learn. And so that's the importance of being in the storm to me, is building that endurance and that strength, so that when it's time, you can go forward.
Love it. Love it. Look at Amanda bringing it today. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. That's really good. Julie, tell us something from your perspective.
Sorry, you froze up. Did you ask me to say
something?
something?
I'm sorry. Tell me something from your perspective. What do you see about times?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite quotes is Winston Churchill's, "If you're going through hell, just keep going." But one of the things to look forward to is when you look at the number of people that are going to retire, the baby boomers that are going to retire, and they were the first generation to see real estate as an investment more than just a shelter. So the baby boomers have used investment to build their wealth, and they own a lot of it. In the next 2 years, what is the number? 70 billion will be transferred in wealth, and 70 million will retire by 2030. So when the baby boomers start passing on their wealth, there's going to be a lot of transition of real estate. Mm-hmm. So just recognize that that's coming. The silver tsunami, that is something that we've been
looking at. It's going to be a storm of a different kind. You're going to have a fire hose blowing at you, and you're going to try to capture that water in a glass. You better get a bigger glass.
Yeah, be prepared.
Now's the time to get prepared for that.
Yeah, be prepared, because the silver tsunami has already started, and it's coming. So regardless of what's happening in the economy, there's a storm coming. That's a good storm, and that is a huge transfer of wealth.
Love it. We were talking about this in our meeting. Hold on a second, Mark. How it's so tight for so many people. And one of our guys said, yeah, but my dad was flying to somewhere and he was at the airport, packed, absolutely packed, people doing stuff. And cruise lines packed. And what you have here, folks, is a whole generation of baby boomers, millions and millions and millions of them, that have an absolute ton of money, and they're out spending it, right? And then right behind them, you have, it's like that storm. On one side, they're raging. On the other side is people with no money, right? Because the baby boomers have all the equity, have all the assets, have everything. But like Julie said, this too shall pass. And unfortunately, people age out, and that wealth is going to transfer. Now, you can sit back and wait for that transfer, or you can go out and position yourself such that you're there grabbing up your unfair share. Right, Mark?
Absolutely. And I think that it is important to see the two sides of the storms. There's the storm of calm, not enough. There's the storm of it's coming at me hard. And I know agents that they will sabotage their success in those moments because the emotional intensity ramps up that they can't handle it. They crater and they miss the opportunity when it is flying hard, because they're like, this is too stressful. Get ready for it. You want the stress.
Yeah. You want it if you're prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's less stressful if you are prepared. So I guess the lesson going back to, you can learn in calm and you can learn in a storm. Don't be afraid of the storm, right? And you may not even, I don't know, I don't mind a good storm if I'm prepared. It's all right, let's bring it on, right? So you can do that. But let's just review real quick. Nothing lasts forever. It's so hard to keep that in mind. And if you're struggling in your real estate business right now, and I know a lot of people are, this isn't going to last forever. Your key here, here's your absolute key. You're listening. Pay attention to this. This is the key. Get through it. Hang on, hold on, do whatever you can. Survive the moment of crisis. Okay. That's the key. Survive. Not everybody's going to survive. You're going to survive. If you're on this call, you're going to survive. All right. Survive the moment. And then take a minute to learn what you can do. And I'll tell you right now, here's the biggest lesson you should be learning. Prepare for the next crisis so that it's not a crisis. It's just another thing for you. All right. Real estate wise, here's what you're going to do. All right. It's fundamental 101. You probably heard this before. You're going to hear it again. I promise. Come here. Increase your lead gen. I hate lead gen. I know you do, but do it anyway. Right. You know the difference between a pro and somebody and an amateur? They both hate something, but the pro does it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Or the difference, the pro doesn't do it anyway if it doesn't serve them. Right. Lead gen serves everything. It's a cure for everything. It's freaking penicillin to the sick. Do it. All right. Increase your previewing. What was the first word in this one again? Increase. Oh, increase your previewing. Make sure you go to every property, right? What? Increase your study trends. Oh, interesting, right? Increase your visibility. People, now is when you increase. It's not when you decrease. The only thing you're decreasing right now is expenses. Okay. Mm-hmm. Increase everything else, your effort, your mindset, your everything, except for expenses. Increase, right? Mark, take us around one more time on it. What do you got? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Increase. P.T. Barnum said that when it's trying times, that's when you double down on your activities, not hunker down. Yep.
Destiny, what do you add?
I would add that as you're increasing, understand it's not quick. The process is slow. It takes time to build up that business. It's not going to happen overnight. So stick with it and embrace the storm.
That's gold, man. This stuff is we're not in a fast twitch business. It's really fast when it starts to move, but it's so slow to get to move. Julie, what do you got?
Fourth quarter of this year is going to be extremely busy. It's already starting now here. The fourth quarter starts in a couple of days. So fourth quarter is a few days away, and it's going to be one of the most productive fourth quarters. There's going to be a lot of transactions. As soon as the election's over, right, wrong, or indifferent, people are waiting. But fourth quarter, it's picking up. I'm already seeing it picking up. I'm starting to get more incoming calls of people wanting to buy and sell. It's picking up. So know that the end is near and we're about to change, and the winds of change are already here. Just be prepared. Call everybody you know. If you have no money and you're broke and everything's really hard, call everybody you know and ask them what their plans are for real estate for the next 90 days.
Love it. So much wisdom here, people. Go back and watch this again. This is where you're gonna make a lot of money. Not guarantee you there are gonna be generational fortunes that are going to be forged in the next 10 years. If you're prepared, you will be one of them. It happened before, it's going to happen again, and it's coming. It's coming. So real quick, we're going to go through this again real quick because that's what we do. Lead gen. All right. I know you haven't heard that before, but you're going to increase your lead gen. You're going to increase your previewing. I want you to know what these inside. Previewing isn't going on Zillow or in the MLS. Wrong. It's actually going into the property. You need to know if they had cats. You need to know if the fence is weird in the back or what's going on. You got to know what it feels like, what it smells like. I write a lot, and one of the things I've learned recently is most writers don't talk. They talk about what you see and what you hear and maybe what you feel, but very rarely do you get what it smells. Only the best people know what it smells like, but it takes you there. If I say, what does the smell of popcorn? I can pull you somewhere quickly, or chocolate chip cookies. You smell that stuff or whatever. Take it to that level. Know what these places smell like. Dogs, cats, urine, right? We had a listing once that smelled so bad we couldn't even go in from the dog, but they were nose blind to it. They didn't, what do you mean? Smoke, right? Increase your study of the market trends. The past isn't always indication of the future, but it's a pretty good predictor. All right. And here's an easy one or a big one. Increasing visibility. Secret agent doesn't work. Make sure anybody and everybody knows who you are and why. Why? Here's why. They need to know who you are and why you are different from everybody else. That's a big one. All right, guys, there you go. It's Friday. Here's what I want you to do. It's Friday. We're going to end the week. Make sure you create a workable goal for the day, because I want you to be able to go home feeling like you won, like you had a great day at least, because that'll take you into a wonderful weekend and get you ready for some momentum on Monday to come back and start swinging again. All right. Create a doable goal that you can achieve. Not so easy that you don't have to try, but not so hard that you can't get it done. Create that. Might be 5 contacts. Might be call every lead that you have, follow up. And then go home feeling good about what you got and be ready to start up on Monday, because Monday's a new week. And the fourth quarter, like Julie says, is starting. It's going to be big. We got a comment here. Thank you. Okay. Whoop. What's this one? Previewing is so important. The worst. Let me put it up here. Previewing is so important. The worst is bringing a buyer and not knowing about X. Yes. There's somebody who's learning the business right there, people. All right. Let's go to work. See you on Monday.
Bye.